Welcome back, folks. Professor Almeida here to walk you through the PowerPoint 3 project in COSA 50. Now, this project is a tricky one, and if you do get 100% on this, my hat's off to you. Okay, at the time of this video, there seems to be an issue with this project. So if you're watching from the future, hopefully Cengage addresses it. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'll take you through this project. You'll see the pitfalls and some of the issues I've been running into. Full disclosure, I'm essentially in God mode here, and I have been making numerous submissions in trying to get to the bottom of things with this project. So, all of that coming up. Module 3 is on inserting word art, charts, and tables. So without further ado, let's get into this. And as before, you do have the full ebook here. As a matter of fact, here are the objectives for chapter 3. So by the end of PowerPoint Module 3, you should be able to master these concepts. And again, I do have the PowerPoint 3 project here. And this is my Sandbox COSA 50 course. Again, in the interest of transparency, I have been messing around with this project, trying to figure things out. And as I'm recording this, I am running into a technical issue. So thanks to the magic of post-production, I will see you on the other side. Okay, so I do have PowerPoint 3 project up here. Go ahead and grab your files. And again, in the interest of transparency, I've been playing around with this. So let's see how this walkthrough goes. Make sure to grab your 2 support files. And at this point, we'll put Sam away. I'll go ahead and make a copy of my start file. You can go into the file tab, save as, and change the 1 to a 2 and all of that good stuff. So again, let's make sure to copy. We'll paste, rename, change the 1 to a 2. Make sure you don't have anything after the 2. Launch the instructions, and then launch your start file. And then enable editing. Now I do have the ruler and guides turned on for this one, as you will see in the instructions. And with that, all right, let's go ahead and begin here. So I have my start file and I have my instructions. Project steps. Step 1. In your role as the event administrator for the Sunshine State Conference Center in Florida, you advise groups interested in holding an event about the facility and the services available. You need to develop a presentation that describes the center's facilities, services, and includes cost information for delivery at an upcoming conference center open house. Start by formatting a picture on the title slide, Sunshine State Convention Center, as follows. Part A, insert the picture support underscore PPT 365 underscore 3A underscore palms.jpg. So in other words, it's this file that you see in your downloads. Now, to insert a picture into your PowerPoint slide, you've seen how to work with placeholders, but this time we're just going to insert a picture. Go to the Insert tab, Images group, click on Pictures, insert picture from this device. Check your Downloads folder, and there's the image. Now, you might get pop-up messages informing you of certain features. You can simply ignore them. Part B, turn on cropping and use the middle right cropping handle to crop the right side of the picture to a width of approximately 5 inches. Hint, move the middle right cropping handle to 0 on the ruler bar. So we need to select the picture, and in the Picture Format tab, Size Group, click on Crop. And once again, we're going to grab the cropping handle in the middle on the right side. And basically, we're going to drag until we land on the 0 in the ruler. Okay, make sure it's on the 0. When you're ready, go ahead and hit enter or click the crop button to confirm. Part C, resize the picture to a height of approximately 7.5 inches. Allow the width to adjust automatically. So in the size group, again, we're going to resize to a height of approximately 7.5 inches. We're going to type in 7.5 inches. Part D, apply the soften 25% correction to the picture. So let the step help you out here. It's a correction and it's soften 25%. So if you look in the adjust group, corrections, there's sharpen soften, and it's soften 25%. Now for part E, position the picture to the left of the slide title as shown in figure 1. Basically, the top left of the image should line up with the top left of the slide. Okay, you want to be careful with this step because the grading engine is not so forgiving, as I have found out. Okay, so the top left of the image should be lined up exactly with the top left corner of the slide. And if you need to double check, make sure to save. So how are we doing, folks? Make sure you go back, double check things. And just as a quick disclaimer, don't just blindly follow what I'm doing, because I have been running into some issues with this project. And as you saw earlier, I've been making numerous attempts trying to figure out things with the grading engine. And I'm convinced that at the time of this recording, there is an issue with the grading engine. And if that's still the case, if you're watching from the future, I will let you know in class. You can also reach out to me, and hopefully by then, Cengage will have figured things out. Anyway, if you need a break, you have that pause button. I'll see you on the other side. All right, moving right along with step 2. So let's go to step 2. On slide 2, what we host, apply the saturation 100% color saturation to the picture to adjust it for a better appearance. So let's go to slide 2. Here's the image. Go to the picture format tab, and again, use this to help you with the hints. Color saturation. So in the adjust group, we want color. There's color saturation, and it's saturation 100%. Now in step 3, with slide 2 still displaying, modify the word art object containing the list of events, exhibitions, trade shows, etc. to maximize its effectiveness as follows. First, we need to select the word art. And before we continue, I will quickly step on my soapbox here. Now, you're going to learn how to work with word art. You can apply different effects to your text and shapes. You can have transitions, animations, text, and other objects fly in and do all sorts of things. You can have sound effects. Just because you can do all these things doesn't necessarily make them a good idea for your own presentation. Now, in this case, think of it as your client, right? This is what they're asking for. But remember, at the end of the day, your PowerPoint presentation is a visual aid for your audience. You don't want that presentation to compete with you for your audience's attention. I'm sure you sat through some PowerPoint presentations where the slide was just a wall of text, and I'm sure you've seen folks pull out their phone cameras right before the presenter moves on to the next slide. And I'm sure you've also seen all the different effects of text flying everywhere and sound effects to the point where you probably weren't paying attention to what your speaker had to say. So again, don't create a distraction with your audience. Use the tools, but use them effectively. All right, I'll step off my soapbox and we'll continue. So again, with the word art, make sure your word art is selected here. In part A, apply the word art style, fill red, accent color 3, sharp bevel. Of course, someone up at Microsoft was paid handsomely to come up with this name. So in the shape format tab, word art styles, here's quick styles, and it's at the end of the second row. Fill red, accent color 3, sharp bevel. Part B, apply the offset bottom left shadow text effect, third column, first row in the outer gallery. So still in the word art styles group, text effects, shadow. Here's outer. We are looking for offset bottom left. Offset bottom left. All right, let's go ahead and save. If you have autosave turned on, make sure it's backed up to your OneDrive. Step 4 on slide 3, annual events. Use the content placeholder to insert a 3D cluster column chart with the data shown in table 1. Hint, delete the series 2 and series 3 columns. So you can see the placeholder here. You can insert pictures as you've seen before. Insert smart art graphic, insert cameo, insert video, insert table. You'll see that later. Here's insert chart. This brings up the insert chart dialog box. It's the same as seen in Excel. And the column category, we want 3D cluster column. Click OK. And this brings up chart in Microsoft PowerPoint. This is basically a spreadsheet or a worksheet in the world of Microsoft. So let me give you a quick crash course on spreadsheets or worksheets, especially since the next part of COSA 50 will focus on Excel. You can see that we have lettered columns and numbered rows. These letters and numbers intersect to form cells, and every cell has an address or a cell reference, much like trying to find a friend's place or a business. So this cell here is A1 because it's column A and row 1 intersecting. Where you see series 1, this is cell B1, 4.3, this is cell B2, and so forth. You'll also notice that your cells can consist of text or values. Your values can be numbers, they can be formulas, or even functions. Again, you'll learn about this in Excel. Now, in the hint, they're telling you to delete the series 2 and series 3 columns. You'll notice that if I position my mouse over column C, you'll see that downward facing arrow. And if I click, this selects column C. Now to select multiple columns, I can just click and drag like this, so that columns C and D are selected. I can then right click and choose delete. And now I'm just left with this, and it's a matter of plugging and chugging. Now I can select cell B1 and start typing directly into the cell. This is what's called ready mode. Now if I double click into the cell, I can directly edit the contents. This is called edit mode. I'll hit the escape key to take me back to ready mode. And from here, it's just a matter of plugging and chugging. So B1 is number per year. See how that works? I'll hit tab, and that moves me to cell A2, category 1, which is exhibitions. I'll hit tab again. I'll type 15, hit tab again, and through the magic of post-production, you'll see me move ahead. By the way, notice how the chart is changing in the background. All right, here I am with the last row. I'll type in events, and by the way, I just want to show you this again. Notice the autofill here. And then finally, 110. Now, instead of hitting tab, I'm going to hit enter. One other thing, if you accidentally close chart in Microsoft PowerPoint, if you want to bring it back, go to the chart design tab, data, click on edit data, and that will bring your worksheet back. Of course, when you're done, you can just click on close. Step 5, with slide 3 still displaying, modify the chart as follows. Part A, enter the text average number of events per year as the chart title. So we'll click into the chart title. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see here. We'll zoom to 100%. So here's the chart title. I will triple click and type average number of events per year. When I'm done, just click off the chart title. Okay, let me zoom out real quick so you can see. Part B, change the chart style to style 7. You'll notice these three buttons here: chart elements, chart styles, and chart filters. If I click on chart styles, I can select from the different styles, use the tooltip to select style 7. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close chart styles. If I want, I can also go into the chart design tab, chart styles group, and select style 7 from there. So again, two ways to do this. You can click on the chart styles button and select style 7, as you can see in the tooltip, and then close chart styles. Part C, change the font size of the title text to 24 points. Now I could click on the border to select all the contents inside the chart title, or I can triple click and use the mini toolbar. You can also use the Home tab font group to change the font size to 24. Again, when you're done, click off of the chart title. Don't forget to save. All right, so how are we doing, folks? If you need a break, remember you do have that pause button. Moving right along to step 6. With slide 3 still displaying, reuse slides by inserting slide 2 rooms, slide 3 food and beverage services, and slide 4 event services from the file support underscore ppt365 underscore 3a underscore services .pptx. Here's that support file they're talking about. Of course, you can always download it from MindTap and Sam here. Hint, confirm the reuse slides match the destination theme. Of course, ignore the Mac hint since you should be doing this on a Windows system anyway. So let's make sure we're still here on slide 3. Now, to bring in slides from another presentation, go to the Home tab Slides group, New Slide. You can also go to the Insert tab Slides group, New Slide, same menu. Choose Reuse Slides. Now, in case your support file, for some reason, doesn't show up under recommended PowerPoint files, I'm going to click on Browse, check your Downloads folder. Okay, there it is. We'll click Choose Content. And remember the hint. We need to uncheck Use Source Formatting. Okay, so this allows us to match the destination theme. And it's slides 2, 3, and 4, right? Here's slide 2. We'll click Insert Slide. Slide 3, click Insert Slide. And slide 4, click Insert Slide. When you're done, close the Reuse Slides pane. Step 7. On slide 4, rooms. Align and format the pictures for better balance in the slide as follows. Okay, so here's slide 4. Let me zoom out real quick. There you go. So they want us to work with these 3 pictures. I need to select them. So I'll start with the first one. Hold down Control. There's the second. Still holding down Control. There's the third. Let go of Control. Part A, use the Align Bottom command to align the pictures on the slide. Picture Format tab, Range Group. Let's go to Align Objects. Make sure it's Align Selected Objects. And then we will choose Align Bottom. Okay, so there you go. Align Bottom. Part B, apply the bevel rectangle picture style to all 3 of the pictures. Make sure all 3 are still selected. Go to the Picture Styles group, and in the Quick Styles gallery, bevel rectangle. Use the tooltip. Now, if you need to, compare with the final figure, and we'll move right along. Step 8, let's go to slide 5. This is a tricky one. Insert a text box below the 5 colored boxes as follows. Part A, enter the text custom options available in the text box. Well, first I need to create a text box, and we do that by going to the Insert tab, Text Group, Text Box, and I'll just click right below the 5 boxes here. And they're asking us to type in custom options available. Double check your typing for this one. Part B, change the font size to 40 point. You can click on the border, or you can triple click. Okay, font size is 40. Of course, you can go to the Home tab font group as well. Part C, change the text box height to 1 inch and the text box width to 7 inches. Shape format tab size group, again, the height is 1 inch. The width 7 inches. Now pay attention. You see that I have the height at 1 inch and the width at 7 inches. So again, if I select my text box, there's the height and width. Part D, center the text horizontally within the text box. Now for this one, I need to go to the Home tab paragraph group. And it's align text, more options. So let's double check. Center the text horizontally within the text box. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the final figure, the vertical alignment is actually middle centered here. Okay, but notice what happens when you do that. The size of the text box changes. Okay, so we need to go back, set this to 1 inch and 7 inches. And again, you can see when you look at the final figure how this text box looks. Part E, apply the colored fill, dark red, accent 6, shape style, last column, second row in the theme styles gallery. So with our text box selected in the shape format tab, shape styles group, last option in the second row, colored fill, dark red, accent 6. Now, here's the tricky part. In part F, make a note of this, 8F. Use smart guides to align the text box to the position shown in figure 2. Now, I have been playing around with this project, and in the interest of disclosure, this would be attempt number 8 for me, because for some reason, the grading engine is just not taking this step. I think it's an issue with the grading engine. Perhaps Cengage will fix this in the future, but again, if in the event Cengage does not address this issue, I'll mention something in class. You can also reach out to me, but hopefully if you're watching this from the future, this won't be an issue. And also, don't just blindly follow what I'm doing. Do your due diligence. Okay, so here's the final figure here, and you can clearly see the guides, and you can also see how the guide here lands right on the T. All right, so we want to duplicate this to the best of our ability. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in all the way here. So I'll go ahead and pick this up. Now, if I zoom out, okay, this looks correct. Again, when you compare to the final figure. And again, let me double check. The height is 1 inch, the width is 7 inches. Okay, if you go back, you can see it right here in the instructions. Change the text box height to 1 inch and the text box width to 7 inches. This checks out. So we'll see what happens, folks. And again, if you're watching from the future, hopefully this step gets addressed. Step 9, on slide 7, food and beverage costs, format the word art to stress the slide's message as follows. Remember, this is for the client, and just because you could do all this, doesn't mean it's a great idea all of the time. All right, stepping off my soapbox again, let's go ahead and work our way through step 9 here. Change the word art style to fill red, accent color 3, sharp bevel. Again, let's go to slide 7. Here's the word art. And I will click on the border to select the word art. Shape format tab, word art styles. And it's fill red, accent color 3, sharp bevel, just like last time. End of second row. Part B, apply the inflate top transform text effect, first column, 7th row in the warp section. So you'll see in the word art styles group, we have text effects, transform, there's the warp section. Let's go to the 7th row, and it should be inflate top. Part C, apply the perspective right 3D rotation shape effect, 3rd column, 1st row in the perspective section. So now we need to go to the shape styles group, shape effects, 3D rotation, perspective right. Resize the text box height to 2 inches and the width to 3 inches. So in the size group, height is 2 inches, width is 3 inches. Use the align middle command to the word art. So in the arrange group, align middle. Don't forget to save. And if you need a break, you do have that pause button. All right, moving right along. Step 10. With slide 7 still displaying, insert a column to the right in the table and enter the data shown in table 2. So here's the table. I'm going to click into the second column. You can see the table design and table layout tabs. In the table layout tab, rows and columns group, insert column right, and then it's just plugging and chugging, right? Premium cost. And then I will click into the next cell below. $35, $75. And last one, $40. Step 11, with slide 7 still displaying, further enhance the appearance of the table to improve its readability. Part A, and you want to make a note of this, 11A, modify the widths of columns 2 and 3 so that standard and premium are on one line and cost is on the next line. So here's what I'm going to do. Notice where my pointer is. Okay, I'm going to click and drag to select these 2 cells. And then in the table layout tab, table group, select column. And once again, they're asking us to modify the widths of columns 2 and 3 so that standard and premium are on one line and cost is on the next line. What they're really asking us to do here is to go into the cell size group, and we're going to modify the table column width. I'm going to hit the up arrow twice. Watch what happens. Here's 1, here's 2. Okay, so this is what we're going for, and you can check your final figure. Part B, apply the divot cell bevel effect, first column, first row in the bevel gallery to the entire table. Again, make a note of the effect, because if you go into the table design tab, table styles group, go to effects, cell bevel, the hint that they give you is actually for the round bevel. You will find divot in the 3rd row. And there is one other issue here. Okay, I just want to show you this. This is not actually correct because I need to select the entire table. So let's go back and undo the cell bevel. Select the entire table, and now let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. There you go. This is what you should have. Okay. And with that, let's make sure to save. Remember, you can always undo by going into the quick access toolbar or using Control Z if you make a mistake. Step 12, let's go to slide 8. This is a simple one. Use the align middle command to align the shape in the middle of the slide. Select the shape, go to shape format, arrange group, align, align middle. Easy enough. Step 13, on slide 10, average cost breakdown, use the content placeholder to insert a table and then type the data shown in table 3. So we need to go to slide 10 here. Here's the placeholder, insert table, and we're being asked number of columns and number of rows in the insert table dialog box. So you can see here we have 2 columns and 4 rows. So we'll enter 2 columns and 4 rows. And then it's just a matter of plugging and chugging. All right, so now that we have our table, step 14, with slide 10 still displaying, modify the table as follows. Part A, insert a new row at the bottom. Let's go to table layout, rows and columns, insert row below. We'll click into our new cell in the first column. Part B, type services in the new first column of the 5th row. Part C, type 15 in the new second column of the 5th row. Part D, change the table style to light style 2, accent 3. Let's go to table design, table styles, expand the table styles gallery, and under the light category, you will see light style 2, accent 3. Part E, reduce the width of the table so the right edge is even with the N in breakdown in the slide title. Now let me zoom out a little bit here. Make a note of this. I'm going to grab the sizing handle on the right side in the middle, and I'm going to stop right at the N. Okay, make a note of this just in case the grading engine doesn't find in your favor. Part F, use the smart guides to position the table as shown in figure 3. Okay, so with this, you can see where the intersection of the guides are at, right at 50. So I'm going to move this. And you know what? Let me zoom in so you can see here. All right, so again, right there. We'll go ahead and save. Last step, step 15, in slide sorter view, move slide 9 to become the last slide. So let's switch on over to slide sorter view. Of course, you can go to the view tab, presentation views group, go to slide sorter, and then we'll move slide number 9 so that it becomes the last slide in the presentation. And at this point, we are now done with the project. Take a look at the final figure. And full disclosure, I've been working on multiple attempts just because of the issues I've been finding with this project. Hopefully you've seen the pitfalls. And again, as I've been saying, don't just blindly follow what I'm doing. Do your due diligence. And if you're watching from the future, hopefully Cengage will address this. All right. Let's go ahead, submit this for grading, and check out the score report. So at this point, I can return back to Sam. And we'll go ahead and submit this for grading. And again, just to show you here, this is my little sandbox with COSA 50. All right, graded summary report. You do get 3 attempts at this, and like I said, I hope that Cengage addresses this, but I am pretty convinced there is an issue with the grading engine. And you can see the score is 98. Let's see what happened here. Custom options available should be center aligned. And the last part here with 8F, this has been an issue. So let's go back. Should be center aligned. You know what? Maybe the wording of this. Let's look at the instructions real quick here. All right, so let's get back to step 8. Center the text horizontally within the text box. All right, let's take a look. And again, this is why I want to show you this. We'll go to slide 5 here. All right, here's our text box. Custom options available. All right, let's go ahead and center the text. And once again, you see how the text box ends up being resized. So it's 1 inch with the height, 7 inches for the width. Let me double check. There you go. And once again, we're going to move this. It seems that no matter what I do, where I position this, the grading engine doesn't like it for whatever reason. And I'm pretty convinced that there is an issue with the grading engine. So, you know what? Let's just do this. I'll go ahead and save and resubmit just to show you. All right, let me go ahead and turn this in and I will show you here. All right, graded summary report. We'll go ahead, open this up. And now when I look at the score report, I get 1 point back. Step 8. So when it comes to aligning text, yes, you will need to go to the Home tab paragraph group and actually center the text. So what I showed you isn't enough, but remember, you need to go back and resize the text box again. But for some reason, and by the way, check this out. The text box should be positioned as shown in figure 3. Well, if you look at the instructions, it's actually figure 2. I don't know, folks. It is what it is, and I will just leave it at that. So hopefully, if you're watching this from the future, maybe this won't be an issue. But if it's still an issue by the time we get to PowerPoint Module 3, look for announcements, or I might say something in class. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck on this project. Watch out for the pitfalls. Make sure you save. Double check with your final figure. Thanks for watching and being patient with me. I'll see you around.